Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic week. Well, it was only inevitable. We kind of knew this is probably going to happen. Passengers have launched a class action lawsuit against the Viking cruise line. So we all followed that story where the Viking Sky off the coast of Norway lost three of her four engines and got into trouble, had to drop anchor, and was basically motionless in very, very rough seas. They started airlifting passengers off because they were worried the ship was going to coast into the rocks, especially if she lost her fourth engine. And it all turns out to be a programming error in the safety sensor that said that they were missing oil, even though there was oil, but because of the rough seas, the oil tanks were registering as too low, and to save the engines, that sensor automatically shut them down. That's since been fixed. Passengers, some of them ended up in hospital, some had infections, some had broken ribs, but the majority of people were just shaken up, mostly from the cruise. A few crew members also as well. They did praise the crew members for their attentiveness and the search and rescue team, so that's not the issue. The issue is that the lawsuit is claiming that they should never have sailed in the first place. In fact, one of the statements coming out from the lawyer in charge of the class action suit says, normally in this kind of case, a class action lawsuit against a cruise line usually ends up in free cruises or free tickets for the people suing and a lot of money for the lawyers. In this case, the lawyer says these people deserve much more because of the situation, and that was that he feels that they should never have even been put in that place to be in danger in the first place. Reason for this, that he's simply stating that in that area there are two large ferries that run, and that is known as a very dangerous place. Many not cruise ships, but ships have gone, fishing vessels and transports have run aground in that area and gotten into trouble. In fact, one of the rescue boats heading off to help the Viking Sky broke down and ended up having to abandon ship as well. So it just goes to show it was some rough seas and a rough area. But there are two large ferries that run in that area, and one goes in one direction, obviously one goes in the other, and both captains of those ferries did not sail that day. And the lawyer simply states why they didn't sail that day: because they didn't want to put their passengers at risk. And that goes to the main point of the lawsuit. Should the captain have even set sail that day? This cruise ship is a smaller cruise ship, so it's not that much larger than a ferry. In fact, it could even be smaller than some of these ferries. It's not like it's an Oasis or a Quantum class cruise ship or the Royal Princess cruise ship, large ships that have more power than the smaller ships do, and when they get into trouble, they get into trouble bad. So this is where the scrutiny is going to be on the captain and on Viking Cruise Lines, because it's not just the captain who makes up their mind. They're always in constant contact with the cruise line's head office and the weather network and, all the different sources to decide whether or not they should set sail. But ultimately, it's the captain who makes the final decision, and it will be his responsibility. So should they have even set sail that day? Even though the reason they got into trouble was more on a malfunction than anything that they did wrong. However, they would never have been in that position to begin with had they not set sail, and they set sail during calmer weathers. There would have been no issues, no broken ribs, no people in the hospital, no evacuation, until at such time it goes off in the future. So good news is for the cruise line, they discovered this and they can solve it. And this was a warning for all the other cruise lines out there to make sure this doesn't happen to them as well. So that was a good thing, safety overall for everybody. But the captain here, I hate to say it, but they're going to be under some heavy scrutiny in the next little while this lawsuit takes place. This is going to be an ongoing story for at least a few years down the road, unless they miraculously settle out of court, which I have a feeling is not going to happen when you're talking about millions and millions of dollars. So we'll see what happens. I hope you like this news update. What do you guys think below? Do you think that captain should have set sail? Do you think he had no way of knowing and thought the cruise ship would be fine? Let me know down below in the comments what you think. And do you think these passengers deserve, more than maybe just their free ticket for the next cruise? There was 1,000 people and they all could have gone down. And maybe, just maybe, it was preventable. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.